24 U.S. senators plan to attend this morning's memorial service in Phoenix for Senator John McCain. Former Vice President Joe Biden will give one of the eulogies. An estimated 12,000 to 15,000 people lined up to view McCain's casket at the Arizona State Capitol yesterday. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham offered a rare emotional reflection yesterday on the death of his friend that we haven't seen before. We spoke with Graham about their unique relationship that spanned more than 2 decades. He talked about the pain of losing his friend, the more surprising moments of McCain's life, and their last moments together. We've heard a lot about Senator McCain this week. What's something people would be surprised to learn about John McCain?
How kind he was.
How did that manifest itself?
Paying tremendous amount of attention when you needed it the most. That he could be a handful, he could rip your head off, all on and on and on, but he could be incredibly kind just by picking up the phone, making sure that you knew he was there for you.
What would he say if he was calling you now?
Buck up. Knock that crap off. You're embarrassing yourself.
Do you still have the instinct to take out your phone and call him?
As people ask me what's it like, yes, I literally, yesterday afternoon, I literally almost picked up my phone. So I don't know who in your life that you talk to about business matters or almost share things with about your hopes and your dreams and, you know, your business activities. It was John for me.
If you can't talk to him, what do you hear him saying in your head?
Steady. Keep pushing. Be careful, but steady. Stay involved. Don't give up.
Did you get a chance to say goodbye to him?
Yeah, I did. And when I walked in, he just smiled and held my hand, but really didn't say anything. And Friday was a bad day. But yeah, something told me to go. I was planning to go this week. And I found a hole in my schedule. Says, no, I need to go.
What did you tell him when you said goodbye to him?
You did good. You exceeded every expectation your dad and your grandfather had for you. You did right by your country, you did right by your friends, and I am better for having met you. And he just squeezed really hard.
You traveled all over the world together.
Yes, every place no one else wanted to go, we went.
You were never anywhere very long.
This man, John McCain, had more energy than 10 men. The doctor told me in Sydney that he had 8 times the tolerance for pain of the average person. But he had a schedule that would literally kill you, but he was curious.
Last question. We're sitting in the Russell Senate office building. Should it be the John McCain Senate office building?
I think we need I don't know. I named the Capitol after the guy. It'd be John McCain, D.C. I want to see what the family thinks. But the Capitol Visitor Center, he hated that place. It turned out to be marvelous. What if it's the first thing you saw was the life of John McCain? What if it was the John McCain Capitol Visitor Center? That would be perfect in this regard. It would be an educational moment for young people to know that men like John McCain existed. Then they'll find out about other men and women that made this place truly great, and it would annoy the hell out of him. So it'd be my way of getting back at him.
Senator Graham, thank you.
Thank you.
He went the range of emotions yesterday, thinking about John McCain and those final times holding his hand, and that when he said that he still reaches for his phone to call him, you know, they would call each other constantly all day long.
You know, Lindsey Graham has been very supportive of President Trump, and we know McCain was not close with President Trump. Did that cause a rift at all between them? Well,
we talked about that. Yes, there was a lot of clashes, and his argument is, what did John McCain do? He made up with George Bush and Barack Obama about who John McCain said some extraordinarily bitter things. But in the end, he made up with them. And what Lindsey Graham said is, that's my job, is even though I disagree with this president, and he talked about all the president's flaws, but he said John McCain's message was that you got to serve your country by doing what you can to work with the president. There are obviously some people who believe that serving John McCain's memory means keeping up constant resistance against the president.
Interesting.